So, who are you? Queen of Love. You want to give care and attention. And of course, receive pleasant messages. You live with your heart. It's important for you to be with someone who feels you, thinks about you. You really feel all these emotions. Without this, well, it's hard for you, no matter how old you are. It's safe to say that you'll be like this for as long as you live. Well, the Queen of Love is a creative nature. That's probably it. Well, maybe you love the creativity of other people, reading, watching something about love. Well, Queen of Love, what else? How else can I put it? The only negative in this story is zero practicality. No practicality at all. That is, I want to be like this. I soar into the sky in this love. When I have this feeling, it seems like everything is getting better for me, right? But sometimes you can go into negativity as the Queen of Cups in love. So I fell in love, and I forgot. I'm late for work. I'm always daydreaming. I'm thinking about my beloved. What should I buy for him? And what will he give me as a gift? And so, that's how it is in the negative. But sometimes in the positive, it's the opposite, right? It's like wings grow when I know that I am loved. And everything works out for me. I make money. And even my walk is light and fluttering. And here, there can be two sides. For some, it's a minus. For others, it's a plus. When I forget everything, and I don't even care about work or studying, I don't know. Well, you'll never forget about your children, because your loved ones are everything to you. That's it. So if you have kids, your children will save you. For example, if there's no love, then children save you. I live for them. I breathe for them. Yes, that's how it is. Or, well, just a loved one, and to a lesser extent, friends. Of course, it's nice to be with friends, but here you are, the Queen of Love. It's all about love. Purity, purity of thoughts. It really hurts you if your loved one does something wrong. Well, wrong in your understanding. It's such suffering. And at the same time, you are the one who can experience this whole spectrum, the spectrum of romantic, this kind of elevated love. It's like a real unity with your partner. If he goes somewhere, it's like your hearts beat in unison. You know where he is, what he's thinking, if he's sad, and if he's a little late, that's it. You immediately start to sense something. So that's how it is, girls. Here you have a corridor of karmic. Let's look at the downside after all, because here it's like, how else can I put it? The Queen of Love, she can feel like she's in paradise, even in a hut with the man she loves. Well, if the man truly loves her. That is, she can move anywhere, go through any difficulties, as long as there is love. Let's still look at the downsides, because the karmic corridor, well, it's a beautiful card, right? Probably also coziness at home, just real coziness at home, because your soul becomes so unprotected. Well, or maybe it doesn't become. It just is, I would say. Oh, girls, I'm sorry. Something unexpected happened. Just a second, Let's look at the negative and the positive. So, for you, yes, this kind of love, all-consuming love, what kind of negative does it bring? You can wait for a very long time. The heaviness, no matter how hard the relationship is, if you love, you take responsibility, you care. The scariest thing is if, God forbid, something happens to your loved one. Some problems, you will endure until the very end. You will help, probably sell everything, carry all the worries on your shoulders. No matter how hard it will probably be hard for your heart to forget. And to forget how you loved, or what he was like. For example, let's say for 3 years it was perfect love, your soul was singing, and then suddenly something happened, and he started to change. And it became unbearable, but you can endure it for years. Or, for example, he's still a good person. but he went somewhere like abroad. Something happened. He left the country. And you will endure. Wait for decades. Like you're attached. Such a strong attachment. If, God forbid, something happens to him, if he suffers from something, or there's no money, or his body's hurt, then that's just terrible. Such a gentle soul will take on all the most terrible burdens. You see, that's the thing. If, God forbid, you end up with a narcissist, and they're very skilled, or some kind of psychopath, God forbid, someone who's cold but knows exactly how to use techniques to make a woman attached to him. He played that kind of role. Yes, he played that part. Oh, well anyway, you'll know when it's Stockholm Syndrome, when people start making excuses. Love justifies everything, as they say. I'll justify anything, because in my eyes, he created this image. And I love that image. Because you love the image, your soul loves some kind of image. That's why I say, maybe you just love watching movies. Maybe you've read something since childhood, but you have some kind of image. It's like water, an image formed of some pure, unconditional love. That's how he should be. And so, if suddenly someone is able to play out this image for you, or what if he actually is like that? Yes. And life is such a complicated thing. You never know what might happen in it. And that's it. And this image will guide you through all the barriers, all the obstacles. You could get stuck forever, practically. What else? What other negativity could there be? Well, this belief in purity, in the purity of the human soul. I don't know what, but something must have happened to him that makes him act this way now, justifying some kind of tyrant. Oh Lord, the cards fell. Just a moment. Here we're revealing the negativity. We have the King of Wands. Negativity comes up. If we reveal the negativity, here's the broken heart, the reversed King of Wands. He might not do what he promised, or he only does things for himself and breaks your heart. He even cheats and somehow justifies it. Something that maybe other women wouldn't accept, but you keep making excuses with this broken heart. Justifying a wrongdoer is, in general, against love. Your heart will already be dying, and still you will keep making excuses. The advantages of what probably, let me just say the advantages right away. Love knows no age. If you come across, this kind of situation, of course, you need to leave, because you are deeply in love with an image. All right, if you really do meet such a person, but what if you don't? Actually, there are no ideals. You can create some kind of ideal, just like that. Pros, yes. The pros of your big heart. Wow. Well, that's a huge plus. Here the devil came out. The devil is a very good card. It symbolizes earth, just matter. Where does the devil rule? On earth, underground, in scary adventures, where there's the fiery Gehenna. Everyone is burning, right? In some kind of purgatory too, right? But in fact, it's Lucifer, the light bringer. He's the smartest, the most interesting, the most resourceful. He's the angel whom God created as the very best of the best. Right. Well, of course, he also knows how to fall into pride and blame God. And what about us? We also blame God, sometimes even a lot, right? We are always, yes, between an angel and a demon here on earth. What does the devil say on the positive side? If you love a person, your love can raise them from the grave. If you love a person, they can become incredibly rich, have great wealth, but when they're with you, they won't be greedy. Well, maybe at first, right? But the longer you're together, you become like one whole. We've been together for a long, long time. And in the end, the person realizes how pure your heart is. And this temptation by the devil, with huge amounts of money, like, I'll hide it, I'll do something else there. Well, basically, it goes away. And he will never go. No one will ever tempt him with anything. Well, for that, of course, you have to go through all these twists and turns with the devil and jealousy, or something else, here on Earth. You might justify this in love. The most important thing is that he's not some narcissist, because you could keep justifying a narcissist for a very long time. But if you got lucky and intuitively chose the image of a real person, understanding that, well, anything can happen in life, right? And there will be twists and turns, especially with the devil. Sorry, there will be a lot of temptation here, but that's actually a good thing. And when you get through the temptations, you'll come to an agreement. You really know how to touch the soul, to awaken the soul. Even men with frozen hearts. Well, it's impossible to awaken real narcissists, those really hardened ones. Yes, whose, excuse me, minds are just like that. Well, they were just born that way. Their neural connections are disrupted. Their limbic system just doesn't connect with the neocortex. So the neocortex works, their brains function, but they can't explain their feelings. I mean, they have them, but they just can't, yes, explain them. And psychopaths, they don't have any feelings at all. Everything is just cut off there. They're logical. They're very good managers. They achieve great heights. With people like that, it's impossible. It's like if someone was disabled and didn't have an arm, their connections are disrupted. They just don't exist. But there is, for example, narcissistic personality disorder. For instance, parents. Well, sometimes children protect themselves by taking on their parents' patterns, like being strict, cruel, or selfish. And, well, life too. Where else would they get it from if those are the examples around them? And they start protecting themselves in the same way. You see, you can awaken, you can awaken a soul. The only thing is, you need to use your intuition to know where there is no soul, where it has died. You could say, where it simply isn't there. That's a robot. A robot who chooses the best, most beneficial scenario for himself in life to achieve some kind of success with the help of women. Yes. He chooses a beautiful woman so that his male peers will accept him, or to achieve a position, for example, to become a mayor. Because being married with children makes it easier for average people like him to choose him. His mind works like a calculator, Well, you can even live with someone like that, but it will be very hard. I'm telling you right away. Still, you can live with someone like that. About the ones I was talking about, you have some kind of excuse for them. Stockholm Syndrome, basically. That's it. But if after all, yes, a person's soul is still alive, somewhere in there, with those neurons. I mean, there is some kind of path. And you, as if you're dripping on that path, dripping water. Water wears away stone. What is stone? Earth, the earthly element. Drip, 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 drip. Over time, yes, a man can become very rich and famous, and then be one whole, right here, on Earth. It was the devil who tempted Eve to taste the fruit of knowledge here, on Earth, like everything is here. Wow, to touch sensations, feelings, and yes, that's when you get some fullness of emotions from the earthly element, right? It will feel nice. Pride, not arrogance, but pride, that I have such a husband, such a family, such children from him, and maybe something else. That's a plus. And you can also help someone get through any kind of dependency. For example, it's very hard for people to cope with the death of loved ones or the collapse of a business. The earth is always being destroyed. You are exactly that person in a marriage who is, well, an angel, I would say. An angel who can understand a man through all these ups and downs and talk about anything. Basically, you are the kind of wife who, when everything falls apart for him, everything collapses, you understand. Can you imagine what that's like? That's really valuable. Well, that's something both men and women dream about. That's 100 more advantages for you. Well, we're looking at the karmic aspect, and we're looking at you. And I wouldn't be surprised, of course, if you attracted very complicated relationships, very complicated ones. So, what other advantage is there for you? Justice. We've gone through the major arcana. The downsides are so so, but the advantages are huge. You are so fair. You feel this human sense of justice with your heart. Well, when it comes to yourself, yes, you can be unfair to yourself for a long time. But it's exactly this kind of man who gets married. That's your advantage. He gets married, you'll never just remain a mistress. If you choose the right person with your heart, this man will put everything in your name. He won't act like a regular person. Well, not everything, but according to what's fair, meaning in accordance with the law. He will try very, very hard, and you will know it. Well, over time, see, like the earth, water wears away stone. Your soul wears away the stone, he becomes alive. Alive and not breaking what is fair. A person can be tough on others, and sometimes even a bit tough on you, but you will know that you are protected, like behind a stone wall. Just like behind a stone wall. He will even go against others with a sword if someone is unfair to you. If it concerns your property or your children together, he will fight. Well, with that sword, if someone violates justice, smart thoughts also push their way through like that. But over time, here too, over time, people start to appreciate your logic, your intuition, and your subtle sense of justice. Basically, you are the kind of person who, well, practically as much as possible, you become the queen of coins. Plus, the home you create is perfect. It will be just perfect for that man. We all have different ideals, of course, but for that man, your home will be simply ideal. That's why everything in the home will be shared with you, and everything will be accounted for from start to finish. So for many years, no one will leave. That's just a robot. Well, there she is. The Queen of Coins. You can have the whole world with her. Any man, well, any man. The one you choose, he will know. Here, with her, I can have the whole world. Maybe not quickly, little by little, but the whole world will be mine. Everything we need for a home is here. It's both yours and his coming together. But I'll say this. A man can really go wild next to you. It depends on who you choose, how fair you think it is. Who do you think is your match? It all depends on your intuition, because you could end up choosing some real jerks here. They might have created an image for themselves, or you just see an image of them, and then you're in real trouble. This is where codependent people will really get involved. All these stories will turn upside down, and even if you get married, just like that, there will be all these issues, unfairness, and codependent relationships. If somehow your image didn't match reality, but otherwise, well, great, really? I don't know. Super. I'll move them a little now. The cards are just so beautiful. I took some more. Yes, this is my favorite artist. I really love him. He also has paintings like that. So, here's a message for you about love. I'll say it again. You can get married at any time, even to a wealthy man. It all depends on how you judge yourself fairly. Do you deserve it? How do you value yourself as a woman, as a wife? You'll marry someone who matches exactly how you see yourself. If you undervalue yourself, that's the kind of person you'll end up with. But you'll never be left without a husband. Well, if you judge yourself in a way that says, "This is what I need," then what do you need to know for this corridor of karmic eclipses? The girls want more. Okay, I'll tell you later. Order. Bring order to your love life. Actually write a list. What were we talking about? If you're married and your relationship is very difficult, Your husband only does things for himself, or even against you, and your heart is broken. Bring order. Write the truth down for yourself. Get rid of that damn image you've given to a negative person by putting a mask on them. Make a list. So nothing will work out with this person. I feel broken. I won't get what I need in order. And you need order, you need justice. Your soul will suffer even more than other women, those who are logical and can calmly choose a man based on calculation. You should choose based on calculation. By the way, if you go through this, because your soul is pure and you go a long way with a man, he can become so wonderful next to you and achieve so much that those who chose based on calculation will end up envying you. That's such an interesting thing. And here the card says, during this eclipse corridor, if suddenly you're hurting, your heart is crying. By the way, there could be love triangles here. You might justify them, like, well, we had a church wedding, or I believe in God, I should forgive. Turn the other cheek. He has a soul, he'll understand me. In this way, you are indulging in sin. Where? Into sin. Into all these reversed arcana. Where I got married, yes, and I sin. I can't stop sinning. Or, on the contrary, I didn't get married like that. I didn't enter into a serious relationship, right? So why get married then? Why buy a cow? Well, a cow, yes, for a long time if I can get it for free. Why buy a cow if I have free milk? I mean, I don't even have to buy milk. I can even complain about this milk. Say, why do I need you here? What were you doing here? I can also drink and hide money. That's the negativity I'm talking about. If you've already gotten out of it, because you can stay in a relationship like that for a long time, but eventually you do get out. That's also your ability to leave an unfair relationship. To leave an unfair relationship and find yourself a good husband. So if you're alone, figure it out. Well, at first, if you're with someone and nothing is working out, you keep choosing the wrong people. You put on a mask. If you're alone and you say, there are only jerks around me, only bad people. Remember about human justice. It's endless. If you criticize someone unfairly in this world, and you can't really know, there are 4 billion men. We have almost 8 billion people living. Half of them are men. Well, take away the young ones. Those who aren't your age, yes. The very old or the very young. Those who really aren't suitable, right? But actually, anyone can be suitable for you. I'll tell you right away, a young guy can fall in love with you. An old man can fall in love with you. So don't be surprised if you get your thoughts in order. And this is exactly what this karmic eclipse is about. Well, how long does it last? About 2 weeks, right? Put your thoughts in order. If you are unfair to men, what kind of men will you attract? Difficult, complicated men, or men with tough professions, or men who are far away, or something else where you have to wait forever, right? Put your thoughts in order. So you will attract what you say, not what you believe. Here, well, yes, it's about faith, about your cup suit. Yes, it's about faith here too. But for you, it's even more about how you think about the world of men. Because if you think negatively, you will attract those who think negatively about women. But the point is that you can even heal people like that. Oh my goodness. But you need to tell yourself the truth, this human truth. Tell the truth. Write it down. Make a list. Because you can drift away from the truth. So you take this little list, right into this comical corridor of eclipses. You take this list, look at it like this. Damn, I drifted away from the truth again. I've already sorted everything out for myself in order. For example, you meet a man, you get to know him, and you write it down for yourself. For example, he has a good profession, he has good parents, he wants to get married, he's official. So, yes, let's say he's selfish. But that's normal for a man. He has selfish, ambitious goals. That's normal for a man. Or do you want a boy? A man? Well, some maybe want that because of their emotional nature. They want it because, damn, the Queen of Cups, she nurtures. Like I said, even when you don't have a husband, that's when children save you. Those who feel you, they save you. That's why you might attract children, boys as well. Well, maybe this boy is already, as they say, how old, but he's still immature. And again, it all comes down to, why should I buy a cow if I get free milk? Mom always gives me her breast. She nurtures, nurtures, nurtures. He hasn't grown up yet. He can't do this. He can't do that. I understand him. I justify him. Put everything in its place. Well, you have this creative ability to give things an aura of heavenly beauty. It's almost otherworldly. Well, it's like how an artist paints a picture. They want to show the soul, how they see the soul. For example, landscapes. They add something, like those swirling clouds. It's as if you give the earth, the land, a soul, some kind of divine beauty. It really is divine beauty. My goodness, do you actually see it or something? How can I put it? You see divine beauty. It seems to me that you already see the final result. You have this kind of creativity. You see an ordinary person, just an earthly person, and then your creative side turns on, like an artist or, I don't know, a director. Well, there he is. You poured your emotions onto him, and you already saw what he could become. But he hasn't been shaped yet. He's still like a stone. And your water, your creative, gentle, loving process hasn't worked on him yet. And there are some people who have no soul, like the devil without a soul. There are those who hate God's children. Well, why did the devil become the devil? At first, he was Lucifer. He just became proud and said, I could do it better. Your children are nasty. They dig in the dirt. They're easy to tempt. They'll abandon you for pleasure, for erotic enjoyment, for having children, for making money, for gluttony, for all these earthly things. They'll forget about you, God, and they'll pray to you, God, only to get more, to eat more, to have more on this earth. So he says, I would have made others. But that's pride, and, well, we also have the devil. Each of us has both an angel and a demon inside. There are no perfect people. You have this kind of love, but it's also not perfect, even for you yourself. And there are people who say the same thing. Ugh, what awful creatures these people are. All they do is eat. They're like larvae, these women. All they want is to take everything from men. And why, since they treat me like this, I won't give them anything either. I'll just drink everything from them. Yes, all their energy. Because they're just like me. What, do I not know that? They're the same, even worse than me. They want to hang on a man's neck. Girls, just go into men's chats, psychological chats. There are a lot of psychologists now, and there are also tarot readers who do readings only for men. And there are real men who suffer because of women. Do you think there are no female narcissists? Or no blatant egotists? Or no women, damn it, who have suffered because of a narcissist? They have post-traumatic syndrome, and they beat up normal guys. As they say, once burned by the devil, they start blowing on water. Yes, as the saying goes. They got burned by hellfire, and now they blow on water. Well, which sometimes boils too, and that also causes problems. There are female psychopaths. There are even those. Usually, psychopaths, Yes. Become those killers. What are they called? The ones there are a lot of, right? Ah, cereal. There are even women like that. Well, more often poisoners, of course. Well, there are all kinds. And normal men drop like flies around them. That's it. So, here you need some order. And you should really make a list of things. There should be some kind of harmony between the earthly and your kind of hyper creativity. You see, it's like, boom, you already have a movie. Boom, you drew yourself a movie. And you embellished it. And here you often need to come back down to earth to unite the Pentacles lady, the earthly one, with this one. Well, like, combine something in the middle, right? Some order, harmony will be established, or just something purely earthly. Like, we only count the budget, what goes where, how things need to be, just the home and hearth. All the money goes into the piggy bank. This account here, that account there, and so on, right? There should be something in between here, but this one is up in the clouds. So, to organize all of these things, well, any man would be happy. And you too, understanding that here on Earth, there is a certain karmic order as well. There are people with some minor dependencies, and there are serious dependencies that are not suitable for marriage or living together at all. And it's impossible to change another person, to save someone from alcohol, from drug addiction, from lies. The spawn of the devil, well, who keeps lying all the time. About anything at all. About cheating. About him saying he'll stop. I love you. Well, damn. When, as they say, the lower head starts to move somewhere, nothing else matters, right? Everything becomes about that. Understand this, and by forgiving such people, first of all, you absolutely don't love yourself, and you indulge in sin. Further. There should be some kind of order established here, which you will probably check until you get used to it. Because, well, that's how it is for you. Over time, things will get organized for you if you happen to be lucky enough to pour your love onto a cool man. Some kind of project. You just threw this veil over him with your love, your heart, thinking that you'll have children with him, that he'll grow in his career, and our children will grow up, and I'll be like this, and he'll be like that, and we'll do this, and we'll build a house, and we'll go on vacations. It will all happen. Well, when everything is organized in order, when you don't completely lose yourself. What else will they tell you about love during this karmic eclipse? Put your feelings in order. There might also be some feelings here that are not in order. What kind of feelings are not in order? The King of Cups reversed. There is no man on earth whom I will love, or who will truly love me. They're all deceivers. They only talk and do nothing. They devour women like those whales. Yes, like plankton. That's nonsense. What is it again? Injustice to this world, injustice to God. God created everything, a pair for every creature. There are all kinds of men on earth, some like this and some like that. And some people, for example, need codependent relationships in order to go through karmic human lessons. For example, two alcoholics. A woman with an addiction, it's good for her to be with a man who also has an addiction, right? Others won't understand them, but these two will justify and understand each other. Drinking away the family budget, going through difficult lessons, losing jobs and friends. Those who are normal, well, who can keep their addiction under control, they will lose them. They'll fall even lower, and they are needed for learning lessons. God, do you think God is unfair? He loves all of us. There is someone for everyone here. And there is a sensitive man for you too. Well, maybe it's a bit hard to get through to those feelings through material things, But God made us all different. Men have different energies as a priority. And sometimes women become like men. Try getting through to them then. But it's not fair if those kinds of people keep getting attracted again. And make a little list of what you need and also what kind of negativity could be here. Figure out your feelings. Maybe here you say, I don't need this anymore. Maybe. What else could there be? Well, understand that you have prospects. All roads are open for you. And you also here. The cards say that there have been men in your life. There were, and maybe there are those who act the way you like. But maybe it's just as an example. I don't know. Maybe you had a good father, a great brother, a friend, or a friend's husband. You have such examples. Pay attention to that. Just don't fall into illusions, because exactly how you perceive yourself from a human point of view, for example. For example, well, let's say, yes, just an average woman. Work as a manager of some I manage, or, I don't know, I work at a fitness club as a manager. And it's a good, yes, an average good position there, something like that. Well, what kind of man? Well, obviously, a prince, like from England. Well, that's difficult. You have to be somewhere in the king's entourage. Yes, in England, close to the queen. Have some kind of, obviously, just on a human level, that's a fairy tale, that's all. Well, to marry a famous actor, at the very least you need to be, for example, a makeup artist and travel with him all the time to different shoots. Even then. Most likely, you need to start acting in some roles yourself, so that, just in terms of human fairness, you're on the same level, right? You have to understand, don't build any illusions. Otherwise, honestly, the ones you like will just seem wonderful to you. There's a certain order, a certain way things are done. I mean, billionaires, they're not fools either. Let's say I earn money there. Women in human society still, even when doing the same job, earn a bit less. There is a certain discrimination, and you could immediately, based on this negativity, say, well, since women, and this is the norm for the whole world right now. So basically, if it's 70,000, well, let's say rubles. We're still talking. You can convert it to your own currency, since people from everywhere are watching us. So based on this discrimination, I can easily, calmly find a man who earns 250 or 300,000 rubles. This is normal for our world. There are certain human dependencies, worldviews, and you can use them too. That's what's accepted in society now. That a man who is, even several levels richer can marry or just, for example, take a housewife. Well, then, for fairness, where is human fairness? Where are such people? I fit, by human fairness, let's say, for choosing such a man, right? For example, I could marry the owner of a small business. I work as an administrator at a fitness club myself, but I could get married quite normally because, that's just how the rules in society have developed. For example, with the owner of a small business. Where are these men anyway? Where can I meet them? And you really need to make a list of them. Well, maybe mostly online. Where is most of the human world gathered? Where are the men who really want to get married? Like looking for a wife or a housewife. Either a wife or a housewife. Well, the internet. Of course, there will be a whole bunch of other hyper-dependent people there too, just addicted to chatting, who sit there for a long time and tell you stories. Well, and you need to remove them straight from the list, by the list, so they get out of here. What else do you need to understand during this karmic eclipse? Oh, that you are a star, and your heart is not broken. Well, so what? It's just the Three of Swords. Yes, there were some difficult relationships here. You are a star. And yes, now here's something else you need to understand. Here I was just talking about human justice. And you can marry a man of an even higher level because you possess something. I don't even know what exactly, according to the star card. Sometimes it's appearance. Sometimes it's certain talents, skills, the ability to talk, to attract attention. See, remember, I was only talking about human justice. For example, if you want to marry a movie actor, you at least need to be somewhere in that circle. But your story is different. You could even marry some famous person or a foreigner, even at a great distance, because you have something according to the star card. I don't know what it is. In romantic relationships, we only look at love. Maybe you know how to present yourself. Maybe you were born into a working class family, I don't know. But when you walk, you can see your pedigree. Pedigree. Maybe someone in your family was really dispossessed, but you have famous people in your lineage. It's just written in your DNA, you know? You can see it on your face, like you can tell a horse's or a cow's breed by its face. Purebred. Whatever you do there, maybe the way you talk, share smart thoughts. I don't know, maybe you have some talents, or just know how to present yourself. Beauty doesn't necessarily make you a star. For example, we have an actress. Well, it's easiest to call an actress a star, of course. Maybe you really can act, but that doesn't mean you have to be an actress. But there's always something attractive about a star when it comes to romantic relationships, and even men with status will be a little afraid. That's how it is. That's why I said, here, you might even be able to marry a promising man faster than others. Well, in any case, those who came for the reading today, or who are watching, well, you've caught the flow. Who caught the flow? Then, girls, you sometimes get surprised, like, how come it resonates with everyone? Well, again, it comes down to human fairness. There are 8 billion people in the world. Half of them are women. In the readings, well, there should be 4 billion for it to resonate with everyone. That's unfair, you think completely. People come here, like today during the reading. I can't even see how many are in the chat, but probably about 100 people are watching. Girls, write in the chat because I can't see it. Oh, 100, 101. I'm right, 101%. Well, out of 4 billion women right now, at this moment, in the live stream, in the flow, this is the strongest resonance for only 100 women. All right, over many years, thousands more women will be drawn to this stream, maybe 2,000. In a billion, that's not even a drop in the ocean. It's like, I don't know, a single atom from the sea, from the ocean, has been drawn here. And according to the star, someone has the skill, for example, to present herself in a certain way, and someone else knows how to behave with elegance. Like I said, yes, there are movie stars who, honestly, when you look at them, it's kind of scary. But they present themselves in such a way, even though they have no eyebrows, no eyelashes, nothing at all. I forgot this actress's name, but honestly, she's so elegant, you just can't take your eyes off her. She plays queens, I keep forgetting her name. She's a German actress with such a cold Nordic face. No eyelashes, no eyebrows, but her face is so expressive. That doesn't mean beauty. It's just that there's something about you. Maybe you know how to do things long term, or you have some kind of talent, being able to manage everything here and there at the same time. Even with you, it's like that. And probably even at a distance, too. The star often indicates distance, that you might get married or marry someone from another place. If that's the case here, yes. And here you don't judge. This card tells you that where you were, on whatever land you stood, there are examples of men who match your idea of a good man. You saw them wherever you went. This is a very traveler-like card, and he holds on to the past, and kind of shows that there have been such men in your life. So you can't judge everyone the same way anymore. What do you think about this? Well, this is it, a karmic eclipse. If you sort everything out step by step, it will heal your heart. Look, this karmic eclipse will heal past wounds. If you understand yourself and men, you won't judge them. And you understand that we are all dependent on something here, on this material world. There are no ideals. Everyone has their own path and purpose. It's better to go toward the star together. So, what does this karma, truly karmic, mean to you? You can fulfill a dream. That is, during this karmic eclipse, you can heal your heart and then fulfill your dream. Take the swords out of it. Oh, I dropped it. Well, yes, you had codependent relationships, dependent relationships, or maybe you're still attached to someone who's been stuck in your mind for a long time, maybe causing chaos. There's this kind of chaos here. That's the chaos you need to sort out in your head. Something was falling apart, yes. This chaos will be brought into order. Maybe you just got attached to someone. You think about him a lot. You need to sort that out too. And maybe he suits you in some way, on one hand. And somewhere you fulfill this emotional side of yourself. Yes, he kind of fits the image. But then you don't fulfill what's fair to yourself. You don't realize those stable relationships, having children, creating a home. Well, it depends on the person and age. Because here, you can realize your love and order, no matter how old you are. Figure this out. If there is any dependency here, if you still have it, or if you got divorced and still remember these relationships, the person has left this world, the world has collapsed. Now there is chaos, they're gone. Figure out how fair you are to yourself. And what do you want in terms of human justice? Well, here you can choose. In this karmic eclipse corridor, well, maybe in this karmic eclipse corridor, your thoughts might be a bit chaotic here about certain dependencies, or maybe about images of men. There might be some disbelief in yourself, like, really? Am I really such a star? Well, then you're being unfair to yourself. Or maybe, really, it's about some man. Well, let's add some more cards now. Well, here it's about taking things step by step, slowly, and don't rush. Don't rush. In search of that image of a man who will be, well, who will always be fair to you. This is the slowest card. It's all about making plans, planning things out. Here your heart will heal, and everything will fall into place in your mind. And only men of the cups suit clearly don't fit here. They should also have something material, something fair and serious. There should be two serious things about them. Here, happiness. You will see that it is with him. This person is fateful. He has a huge influence on your destiny towards happiness. This person is supposed to free you from something. That is, first of all, he shouldn't put you in a dependent position. He should give you freedom. If he puts you in a dependent position, a hyper-dependent one, we are all dependent on each other in marriage. But if it's hyper-dependence, there's no freedom, well, I don't know. They make you take out loans, or you have to do everything, and he doesn't have to do anything, so that's it. It should be easier with him. Yes, fortune. It should be easier with him, because fortune sets you free. That's one of the solutions. And some active man, an active one. Well, at the very least, he's texting, calling, taking some actions, coming over, traveling, running, doing things, doing things. He does things to remove all the barriers, to become close. He does something to Well, maybe you really have a man from far away. Maybe from another city, I don't know. Right? Because of borders, some obstacles. Some obstacles. To free his princess from across the border, from borders, from limits. Well, I don't know. You live in a village, he lives in a city, or maybe just in different cities, or even in another country. He calls himself, comes to visit, or buys you a ticket, does something. Well, he reasons with his soul that he must, so to speak. He is the highest judge, the highest. He decides, he is the higher power, he understands that he is a man. That it's easier for him to do this. Thank you. And it's not a woman who should buy a ticket and go, I don't know, to another country, get a place for herself. So, he's the higher power, but to what extent? You also chose, maybe you chose an average person, right? Who can only, for example, just come pick you up in his car and say, I won't get you a hotel, you'll stay at my place. Well, I'm the higher power here. I'm above. I can do more. Well, somehow he just feels it in his soul. Maybe he has some relatives, family, a homeland, to take you to his homeland. My relatives are like that. My dad did that. My mom did that. Yes, that's just how it is. So that's the second story. So yes, when a man considers himself a higher power, well, here on Earth, it's a bit difficult, because he's the one who decides. And sometimes something might not be to his liking, but you can keep dripping, drip, 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 and eventually it will become yours. Well, again, if you choose a man for whom you do everything, or you tell him how to do things, and he runs around doing them, here, it's probably like having a child already. Well, then you will be the higher power, and the man. So you will always be telling him what and how to do things. In the end, it's like a child. You need to choose and clear the chaos in your mind. And for some women, honestly, it's really fair when I'm like a mom. It's easier for me. It's easier to control things. And then I'm not afraid. But we act this way out of fear. So basically, you need to figure it out. Here you have human justice and higher justice. Figure it out. It's all right here for you. Here it is. Higher justice. Your soul, your heart. And human justice. You need to eat and drink. And I have to be the keeper of the hearth somehow inside. And how does this happen now, according to human justice? This is where you start from. In my country, this is the way things are done. So, according to human justice, a person who grew up in this country will act this way, whether I like it or not, or if I even care, damn it. Well, for example, I'll just look somewhere else. For example, in my village, I already know everyone, they're all married. Or the ones who are left. Well, honestly, they all drink. I definitely know them here. I'm not judging anyone. But I know for sure. And I know for sure that, to be fair to myself, I can't build something like that with them. Yes, there are some handsome guys who play guitar. I don't know, they're fun. But they're fun for everyone. So then I want to live in a city where I can live fairly. And be fair to myself too. Because here you can definitely find someone fair. First, the heart is healed here, with you. Here are the swords. All of this is in order. You write it down. First comes order. Gradually the heart is healed in the corridor of the eclipse. You understand what you want and who you want, and then you take action. And you realize, this way it will definitely be easier for me. And even understanding that all people are different, I realize that he has, well, I don't know, some unpleasant nuances, like, I don't know, his socks smell. I can buy him something for fungus, and his feet will never smell again. Well, something like that. Something that can be fixed. I can handle that. I don't care at all, right? Or for example, some woman might get annoyed that he, for instance, slurps his tea. In some countries, slurping is even a sign of respect, to show that you really like it. But for someone else, it might be really irritating. She wouldn't be able to live with a person like that. Each of us has our own sense of justice. The person I live with, half of you probably couldn't live with them, at all. It's unusual, and especially with me. Many men can't handle me at all. Well, yay. Only hermits could live the way I live, and with whom I live. And only hermits are with me, those who know how to keep themselves busy. My husband and I often don't see each other for months at a time. He's busy with his own things, and I travel somewhere too. He's with the child more often. They often do sports. They go to other countries, and I don't see them. We each have a great and interesting time on our own. Our life is really full of energy, and we're really happy when we can discuss everything together afterwards. Even from a spiritual point of view, we've talked about everything, but we can't be together for too long either. We'll start to annoy each other. Hermits have personal boundaries. Each of us has our own room, so we don't, violate each other's personal boundaries. By the way, we never snoop or ask questions. If we want to share something, we do. If we don't want to share something, we just don't. It never even occurs to us to find out. If someone wants to share, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. You either trust someone or you don't. If you don't, you might cling to them out of loneliness, thinking you can't live without them. The relationship will fall apart. That's why some people can't live with me. Only hermits can. Those who have a lot going on, their own goals to achieve, places to go. The light shines there. It's not just you shining for me. You're my light, my sunshine. But I have my own light too. Well, for example, a man who needs a woman under his arm all the time just won't be able to live with me, and I won't be able to live with him either. A hermit hides a lot, and I have a lot of my own secret activities. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm cheating on him. It just means I have a lot of things I do on my own, and he doesn't need to know about them. I have my own boundaries, and I won't cross into his boundaries either. Many women wouldn't be able to live like this. I'm just saying this out of interest. Well, yes, I'm a Virgo, the symbol of the hermit, the ninth arcana. There's something else you need to understand here. This is about your sense of human justice, spiritual unity, because you have these two queens working strongly, Queen of Cups and Queen of Pentacles. Here it is. Here is your soul, and here are human rules. Rules and laws. All of this must be followed, so you need to bring it down from the heavens to earth and unite it all smoothly. Yes, dear, but in a way that you can eat together, have a proper home, a roof over your head, money for the kids, for trips, and in case I get sick or you get sick. Not just like, oh, I like you and nothing else matters. That's cool. When things get tough for him, this queen will pull anyone out, from anywhere, even from the worst situations. Well, that's the Supreme Court, where people rise from the grave, purely on this faith, love, and the feeling of, I need you so much. When the soul screams out and lifts anyone from the grave, that's it. That's it, yeah. At the same time, you also have to remember that the human body dies. So, well, if the time has come, you'll communicate later. Let go, you have your own path. Yes, you've gone. That's it. You have your own path. And I love you, and there will be love there. But here I will live justly, dealing with earthly matters. Well, that's how we answered you. Look, during this karmic eclipse, human karma should unite with higher karma. Some kind of union should happen, then the heart will be healed. This is also some kind of gift you have. Activate this gift, but only in the sphere of love. Today, we're only talking about the sphere of love.